Okay, yesterday we were learning about computation of standard deviation in discrete and continuous series. Okay, both the discrete and continuous series, both we were learning about here. So let's continue after that, which is the next method. So let's just go through what we did yesterday. So this was the first method, that is actual mean, which we learned. Now under actual mean, the steps are very simple. You're supposed to calculate the arithmetic mean, then find the deviations in the name of x, square the deviations and add them. Then you have to multiply the squared deviations into frequency and add all of them. So then the formula will be root of sigma fx square by n. So we applied this formula for discrete series in actual mean to find out the standard deviation, and also in the continuous series for the standard deviation. Okay, so we stopped until here yesterday. So today we are going to learn the next type, that is assumed mean. So here if you see, we have three types, that is actual mean method, assumed mean method and step deviation method. So we are now learning the second method, that is assumed mean method. Okay, so let's see what are the steps under assumed mean method. Select the value within the given data as assumed mean. So here we are not calculating the mean using the formula. We are just going to select one of the data as assumed mean. Then after that, here we are dealing with discrete series and continuous series. Please remember that. Then after that, we are going to calculate the deviations. Deviations will be d. Small d is the deviation. So how to find deviations? X minus a. A is the assumed mean. Okay, a is going to be the assumed mean. So we are going to subtract x and a to find the value of deviations in case of discrete series. But in case of continuous series, in the place of x, we are going to have midpoint. So for continuous series, we also always calculate the midpoint. So in the place of x, we will have midpoint. Okay, next, find fd and sigma fd. That is, we are supposed to multiply frequency into this deviations. Then we will be able to find fd. And once you add all the values under fd, you will be able to find sigma fd. Then the next step, find d square. You have to square all the values of d, that is called d square, and then we will have to again multiply frequency into d square. So when you multiply frequency into d square, you get fd square. So fd square is f into d square. Then when you add up all of these, you get sigma fd square. After that, we will be using this formula to calculate standard deviation. So let's see the formula. Sigma is equal to square root of sigma fd square divided by n minus sigma fd by n whole square. Again, like yesterday, the same, I'm going to repeat it again. Be very careful with this part of the formula. You have to first divide the values here, sigma fd by n, and then square them. Okay, and then after that, you're supposed to square them. Now, here are few notations which are given. Let's see that. So d, what is the value of d? D is equal to x minus a in discrete series and m minus a in continuous series. So in discrete series, we will have x. In continuous series, we will have midpoint, which is m. And what is this capital A? Capital A is nothing but assumed mean. Okay, so these are the steps to calculate the assumed mean. Let's go on and understand it through a problem. We are going to solve only the problems of discrete series and continuous series. We have already solved the problems under individual series. Okay, so let's see the first problem. So the first problem here is of a discrete series, which is talking about compute standard deviation from the following data. So we have to calculate standard deviation, and you have x and f given. This is a discrete series which starts with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and the frequency is also given to us, that is 5, 11, 19, 22, 15, 6 and 3. Now here in the whatever notes that I had given yesterday, there is a slight mistake in the question which was given there. So please make corrections accordingly wherever I have made the corrections here. Okay, so here this one part which is 3. Now, let us go on and solve this problem and find the standard deviation. So, from the question, we have copied down x completely as it is and frequency completely as it is. Now, once you copy down both of these values, first total all the frequencies and add them up. When you add all the frequencies, the total of n is going to be 81. So there is a little change here. It was 80 before. Now this is 81. Okay, please make changes here. So once we find out the n value, let's go to the next step. Next step is we have to assume a mean. So we have to find out what is A. Okay, so A is equal to assumed mean. Now, assumed mean, what we have taken is the center value of x. So that is 40. I've taken 40 as assumed mean here because it is the central value. If you see, you have first three numbers left out. You have the first three numbers left out and the next three numbers left out. And I have considered 40 as assumed mean because it is easy for calculation. That is the only thing. You can take any number from x. Please understand, you only have to take the number from x. Don't make a big blunder like in the internal test. Do not take the assumed mean from frequency. Okay, assumed mean, I'm repeating it again, assumed mean must be taken only from x. Always take assumed mean only from x. Okay, so here our assumed mean is 40. Now let us go on and calculate. Now when we calculate this value, we have to find the deviations. Okay, so in the deviations, how do we find? D is equal to x minus assumed mean. So x values are already there. Assumed mean is 40. So you are supposed to subtract x values with 40. 10 minus 40 is minus 30. Then you have 20. 20 minus 40 is minus 20. 30 minus 40 is minus 10. 40 minus 40 is 0. 50 minus 50 minus 40 is plus 10. 60 minus 40 is 20. 70 minus 40 is 30. So we have found the deviations. What have we done? We have just subtracted x and a here. So that is x minus a. That is assumed mean. After this, once you find out the deviations, multiply this d into f. Okay, immediate whatever we have here, the frequency, please multiply d into f. So when you multiply d into f, you will find fd. So this fd value is required to calculate the standard deviation. So let's multiply these two values, and once you multiply, you get all these values here. Okay, and here you have to consider the signs. Minus, plus, both signs have to be considered. I'm repeating it over and again in every problem. Only in mean deviation, we ignore the signs. In standard deviation, signs plays an important role. Plus sign, minus sign, both has to be considered. Okay, so you have to multiply these two columns. Now, after that, the next step, we have found out D. Now, let's go on and square the D values. This column, this whatever you see in the green, so I'm going to square this. So you have to multiply the number by itself. So minus 30 into minus 30 will be plus 900. Minus 20 into minus 20. Don't only take 20 into 20. Okay, minus 20 into 20. Including the sign, it has to be multiplied. So minus 20 into minus 20 is 400. Minus 10 into minus 10 is 100. Again 0, it will remain 0. 10 into 10 is 100. 20 into 20 is 400. 30 into 30 is 900. Okay, so I have squared this column completely. After squaring, I get the answers here in the D square. Now, after this, we have to go for the next step. Next step is multiplying the frequencies. Okay, multiplying the frequencies with D square. First step, we multiplied the frequencies with the D itself. Now, we found out D square. Now, multiply the frequency with D square. That will give you the answer for FD square. So, where you have to multiply 5 into 900, 4,500, 11 into 400, 19 into 100, 22 into 0, 15 into 100, 6 into 400, 3 into 900. So you have to multiply this whole column with d square here. Okay, then you will get fd squares in the last column. Now, once we find all of these numbers, add them up, that will be called as sigma fd square. Okay, so for our calculation, for the formula, there are three major things which we require. That is total of frequency, which is called as n. N is equal to 81, and total of sigma fd, that is minus 200, and sigma fd square, which is 17,400. So we have got three major things to apply in the formula. And what is our assumed mean? Assumed mean is 40. So this is the central value, that is where we took it as assumed mean. Okay, so hope everybody understood the table completely. Can you please leave it in chat if you have any doubts with the table? Okay, so everybody understood the table. Let's go to the formula now. Let's just solve all these numbers, put all these numbers into the formula and solve it. Now, the formula, as we had seen in the steps, it is sigma is equal to root of sigma fd square by n minus sigma fd by n whole square. So we are going to apply the same formula here. So sigma is equal to square root of sigma fd square by n minus sigma fd by n whole square. So fd square, fd, n, these are the three major things which we want to calculate the complete problem. So that is what we found out here. N 81, fd minus 200, fd square 17,400. Okay, so first they have asked us fd square. So square root of 17,400 divided by n is 81 minus fd. Okay, sigma fd, that is here whatever we found out, minus 200, that we have taken here, minus 200 divided by n once again, so 81. So there are few corrections here in the numbers. Please make sure you do these corrections. Okay, I will be forwarding these notes also into the WhatsApp group. Okay, so now we are doing whole square. Now let's go on to the further calculation. Square root of 17,400 by 81 minus 200 by 81 whole square. So first we are going to divide these two numbers. We are going to divide these two numbers and write down the number, that is 214.814 minus, here the next number is the complete result of aftering square. Okay, after squaring, how much you will get, that is minus 200 divided by 81. You get a number. Okay, and that I have squared it. Once I square that number, I get 6.096. Okay, so this is the final result. Now the next step after this, the next step after this is I am going to subtract these two numbers. Okay, I'm going to subtract these two numbers, 214.814 minus 6.096. So again, square root of, once I subtract these two numbers, I get 208.718. So after I subtract and get this number, the last step is just to find the square root of this number, and our standard deviation value will be 14.44. Okay, so the final standard deviation value will be 14.44. Okay, so this is how we find the standard deviation for discrete series under assumed mean method. Okay, here we have assumed a mean, that is 40, and then we have calculated the values. To summarize the whole problem, we took the x value and f value from the question. We found out the total of f, that is n is equal to 81. Then we assumed a mean, that is 40. 40 is the central value. Then we found the deviations. deviation formula is x minus assumed mean. Okay, x minus assumed mean. So once I found x minus assumed mean, that value has to be multiplied. This full d values are supposed to be multiplied with f to form fd. Then again I come back to d values. I come back to d values and square them. Now once I square them, I get d square. After finding d square, again we are supposed to multiply f into d square. Okay, again f into d square will give us sigma fd square. Now when you add up three major columns, that is f, that will give you n, and when you add up fd, that is sigma fd, and when you add up fd square, that will give you sigma fd square. Now after this, put all these three numbers into the formula. So what is the formula? Root of sigma fd square by n minus sigma fd by n whole square. When you put up the numbers and simplify them, you get the standard deviation 14.44. Okay, so hope everybody understood the problem completely. If anybody has doubt, you can leave in chat so I can address your doubts. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. Next problem is of continuous series. So we solved discrete series. Now we are going to continuous series. Now continuous series also, the procedure or the steps, including the formula, remains same. Okay, none of it is gonna change. Only a little changes in the calculation will be seen. So that is where it makes a difference. So let's go through the problem. Find standard deviation from the following data, and they have given us the class intervals and they've given us the frequencies. So if you see the class intervals, it starts with 14 to 18, 18 to 22, 22 to 26. It is exclusive class interval. How do you know it is exclusive? You see this upper limit of the class interval being same with the lower limit of the next class interval. So what I'm talking here is, you have this number. This is the upper limit of first class interval, which is same as lower limit of next class interval. Again, the same thing follows. So that is why this is called exclusive class intervals. And since it is exclusive class intervals, we can continue the problem. Suppose if they were inclusive, okay, suppose if they were inclusive, then you have to convert them to exclusive and solve the problem. That we have done in the previous classes, where we have converted them and solved it. Now let's go on further and solve this problem. Now here we have copied the same x values, that is the class intervals, from the question, and frequencies also from the question itself. Once you copy down the frequency, total the frequencies, where you will get the first required number for us, that is 60. Okay, 60 is the total of frequency. Then whenever you have a class interval, it is compulsory to calculate midpoint. Okay, so here it is class interval. We cannot assume any mean from class intervals. So it is compulsory to calculate midpoint. How to calculate midpoint? Lower limit plus upper limit of the class interval divided by 2. So which is nothing but 14 plus 18 by 2, which will give you 16. 18 plus 22 by 2, which will give you 20. Okay, next 26 plus 22, 22 plus 26 by 2, 24. Likewise, you add both of them and subtract. So you will get the complete midpoints. Now, once you get the midpoints, the next step for us is to calculate the deviations. Okay, we are calculating the deviations. So how to calculate the deviations? Here in the continuous series we have midpoint. Okay, instead of x we have midpoint. So midpoint minus assumed mean. So how do we find the assumed mean? We have to again go back to the midpoint only and select one number from here. Okay, and select one number from here that out of these numbers in this problem we have taken 24 as the number. Okay, you can take any number from this. You can even consider 16 and do the problem. You can consider 32 or 36 or 20. Any number from this you can consider. Okay, in this particular problem, our assumed mean is 24. Okay, from here I am going to calculate the assumed mean. Now let's calculate the deviations. D is equal to m minus a, where a is equal to 24. Okay, next. 16 minus 24 is minus 8. 20 minus 24 is minus 4. 24 minus 24 is 0. 28 minus 24 is 4. 32 minus 24 is 8. 36 minus 24 is 12. So I found out all the D values, that is deviation values. Now the next step for me after finding deviations is to multiply frequency along with deviations. Okay, so the next step is FD. Calculate FD. Just multiply frequency into deviations. Now once I multiply them, I get FD. After this, take these deviations and square them. So this column has to be squared. Minus 8 into a minus 8, minus 4 into minus 4, 0 into 0, 4 into 4, 8 into 8, 12 into 12. So when I square them, I get D square. So this column of D, I am squaring it. So I get all the values of D square. Once I do this, then comes the last step, like the previous problem only, multiplication of frequencies. Okay, multiplication of frequency into D square. So I'm multiplying frequency into D square. You see this pink line here in both the columns. Okay, I'm multiplying frequencies into D square to find FD square. Okay, once I find FD square, I am supposed to add all of the values here. This is required for me to calculate standard deviation. Again, similarly for FD also, I have to add them up. So these are the three major numbers which we require to calculate in the formula, that is the standard deviation. So for any standard deviation sum, always first calculate the n, that is frequency, then calculate FD total, summation of FD, then summation of FD square. Okay, these three things are very, very important. Now let's just put up all these numbers into the formula. Sigma is equal to root of sigma FD square by n minus sigma FD by n whole square. Okay, this is the formula. So sigma FD square for us is given as 2464. Okay, this is the value that I have taken here, and n value is 60 minus sigma FD is 120 divided by same n value 60 whole square. Okay, again here it is whole square. Now the next step, square root of 2464 divided by 60. Okay, square root of 2464 divided by 60 will give me 41.067 minus 120 by 60 whole square. This complete expression will give us the result of 4. Okay, the total result is 4. Now when I subtract these two, what do I subtract? I subtract 41.067 minus 4. I get 37.067. So when I take the square root of them, the overall value of standard deviation is 6.088. Okay, the overall value of standard deviation is 6.088. So this is how we find the values for standard deviation under continuous series. So we saw discrete series one problem, continuous series one problem. Steps remain same, formula remains same. The only difference between the discrete series and continuous series is there you have x given directly. Here you have to find out the midpoint. After that, the main steps are finding deviations, calculating FD, squaring deviations, calculating FD square. After this, you can just apply the numbers in the formula. Okay, hope everybody understood this problem. If anybody has doubt, you can please leave it in chat so I can address your doubts. Okay, everybody understood? That's nice. So let's just go to the next concept or the next method, that is step deviation method. Okay, next is step deviation method. Now out of the methods, let's just go back and see which are the three methods we were supposed to learn. See, if you see here, we learned actual mean method. We learned assumed mean method. So this was taught yesterday, assumed mean method. I finished today. Now, the next method is step deviation method. This is the last method under standard deviation. So let's learn what is there under step deviation method. We will see the steps here, and when to use the step deviation also we will learn. Now, in case the data contains huge values, it will become difficult to calculate standard deviation. Sometimes if the data has too much of values, if the n or the number of data is too big, if the number of data is 500,000 and all that, at those times it is difficult to find standard deviation. If a class contains 100 students, if a college contains 600 students, 1000 students, okay, at those times we will be using step deviation method to find the standard deviation for the particular situation. Okay, hence the values are reduced to small units by taking common values. So how we have seen in our first chapters how they give us the data completely, like they give us the raw data and we change the raw data into class intervals. Okay, similarly here, if the data is very huge, we are gonna break it down into small units by taking the common value. That common value is denoted as I. Okay, we usually find this I, or we take this I as class intervals, right? So that is known with another name called common value. So that common value we have to consider here. So under step deviation, how do we calculate for individual series? How do we calculate for continuous series and discrete series? We will be learning. So first, individual series. For individual series, we are supposed to check the formula. So sigma is equal to square root of sigma d dash. Okay, it is called as d small hyphen above. It's not one, it is hyphen. Or you can just say apostrophe, a single apostrophe which is being kept. It's not hyphen also. Okay, so sigma d dash, for that you will have a square. Okay, d dash is one variable altogether. D dash is single variable, and for this d dash you have a square. Another way of understanding is you will find deviations d. Okay, similarly, d, now think d is again deviation, but it is denoted by d dash. Okay, small line above, it's called d dash. Now for this we will have to find the square. So that is sigma d dash square divided by n minus sigma d dash by n whole square. Okay, so that is the formula into I. So let's see few of the notations. That is d dash is equal to x minus a divided by I. How to find d dash or the deviations? X minus a. A is your assumed mean divided by I. I is nothing but common value or the class interval or the difference between both the numbers. So that is called as common value. So this is step deviation method for individual series. Now, next, for discrete series and continuous series, we have a different formula. Let's go on and see the first problem under your individual series. Now, in individual series, this is the problem. Compute standard deviation of the following data. Use step deviation method. Okay, so they have given in the problem saying that you are supposed to use step deviation. So we are using step deviation. Let's see. Now here, if you see the data, you can notice the data has a common difference. See, for starting from 5 till 40, if you see the difference, it has a common difference between the data. So the difference between two data, wherever you take, the difference between the two data is 5, right? So this 5 is known as common value or I. Okay, 5 is the common value or I. So let's write down all these numbers. Okay, let's write down all these numbers into the table. So X is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So the common difference in between all these numbers is 5 for us. So 5 will be I. Next, after writing out this into a column, next column for us will be D dash. Now D dash, how to find out? We saw a formula here for D dash, that is nothing but X minus A divided by I. So we'll use this formula here, X minus A divided by I. Now in X minus A divided by I, we have X already given, that is 5, minus A. A is supposed to be an assumed mean. Now assumed mean must be taken from X only. So you are supposed to select a number out of this X so that you can take that to A. So you can take any number from this. So here we have considered 20 as the assumed mean. So if you can see here, we have considered assumed mean as 20. So let's go on and calculate. X minus 20 divided by I is 50. How did we find I? The difference, the common difference between all the data. Okay, common difference between all the data is 5. So that is why I is 5. Now, X minus 20 by 5 will be 5 minus 20 by 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 20 will be minus 15 by 5. So 5 ones are 5 threes are. So minus 3 will be the first value. Next value, 10 minus 20. Okay, 10 minus 20 by 5. 10 minus 20 is minus 10. Minus 10 by 5 will be 5 ones are 5 twos are. So which is equal to minus 2. So the next value will be minus 2. Likewise, for the next value also, 15 minus 20 by 5. 15 minus 20 will be minus 5. Minus 5, yes, minus 5 by 5 will be minus 1. Okay, minus 5 divided by 5 will be 5 ones are, 5 ones are will go. So it is minus 1. So that is how we find here. Again, 20 minus 20 by 5 is 0. 20 minus 20 is 0. 0 by 5 is 0. 25 minus 20 is plus 5. So plus 5 by plus 5 will be plus 1. Likewise, we are going to find D dash. Okay, for all of the data of X, taking 20 as assumed mean and 5 as the common value. Then after that, you have to add up all these numbers of D dash. When you add up all these numbers, you get it as 4. Why you will get it 4 here? Because you have minus values as well as positive values. Both negative, positive values are there. When you add everything up, you get the answer as 4 for sigma D dash. Now, after finding out D dash, now the next step for us is to find out D dash square. Sorry. Okay, D dash square. For this D dash, square the numbers. Minus 3 into minus 3 plus 9. Minus 2 into minus 2 plus 4. Minus 1 into minus 1. 1. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 1, 1. 2 into 2, 4. 3 into 3, 9. 4 into 4, 16. So I am squaring each of the number by itself. Okay, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. I am squaring each of the number. Then add up all these numbers. You get sigma D dash square. Okay, sigma D dash square, which will be 44. So we require these two major numbers for us to calculate the problem. And then you have to define what is n. N is nothing but number of the data. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have 8 data. So n will be 8. So this is how we calculate the data. Now I'll just summarize whatever we did. We copied the marks, that is X, from the question. We calculated D dash with the formula X minus assumed mean by I. So assumed mean was considered to be 20 from X, and I is the common value, that is the difference between all the data that you can see here, divided by 5. That is the common value. So once you find D dash, add them, which is called as summation D dash. Then you have to square the D dash values, which will be called as D dash square. So when you square up all these values, it will be D dash square. When you add D dash squares, it is called summation of D dash squares. So this is the major part of calculations. Now in the table, now let's apply all of them into the formula. Now the formula is sigma is equal to square root of D dash square divided by N minus D dash by N whole square. Again, be careful with the second part of the formula because it has whole square into I. I is the common value. That is the 5 which we found out here. I is the common value. Now, let's apply all the numbers. D dash square. D dash square is 44. 44 is taken. N is 8. Okay, N is 8 is also considered. Minus D dash. D dash is 4 divided by N again. That is 8. So whole square is considered. Then into I which we already found out here, 5. So that has been taken here. Now the next step, square root of 44 divided by 8 is 5.5 minus 4 by 8. This is nothing but 1 by 2, right? 4 ones are 4 twos are. So 4 by 8 divide whole square, that will be 0.5 into 0.5. Okay, 1 by 2 can be written as 0.5. So 0.5 into 0.5, that is for squaring, will give you 0.25. Okay, 0.25 will be the answer here into 5. This 5 is directly taken. Next, after finding these values, the next step, let's continue. When you subtract these two values, that is 5.5 minus 0.25. When you subtract these two values, you get the value that is 5.25. Okay, into 5 as it is. Now, when you take the square root of this, when you take the square root of 5.25, you get 2.29 into 5. So 2.29 into 5 will give you 11.456. So at the end, this is the standard deviation. Okay, this is the standard deviation. Okay, and major note is step deviation method can be used only when data is given progressively even. So if you have common difference between the data like you have here, only then you will be able to solve it using step deviation. If that is not given, you cannot use step deviation. So first, while doing step deviation, make sure there is a common value you can find out. After that, you can go on and solve the problem. Okay, so this is the individual series problem under step deviation. Hope everybody understood. Can you please leave it in chat if you have any doubts quickly?